It's all about me and you. It's all about me and you.
Hello.
Greetings.
Welcome back. This is our second episode, responsibilities. It's a very current topic since, at least for me, I'm going through a pretty big transition in just going from a mess, pretty much, of taking care of my responsibilities to actually getting everything in order and trying to just manage that.
And I have responsibilities.
The episode was my idea, but next episode will be Ruby's. So wait to see on that.
I don't even know what it's gonna be. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, responsibilities are vastly different from obviously like when we were all kids, I would imagine. I know like the first big thing that I had to do was washing dishes. And that was... I didn't mind it. I just didn't mind it. It was neither good nor bad. I just did it just because I figured someone has to do it, I guess. And my mom kind of forced it on me. But I didn't mind it.
Actually, yeah. I mean, aside from cleaning up your toys, everyone's the first responsibility, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Mine was actually, I don't think I cleaned the dish. No, I probably put away the dishes first. That was my first responsibility. Though I don't know if that's right because the shelves are really high.
I've never put away dishes like that. There are certain things that it's I did myself no matter what, and then there are other things.
Never touched it.
Even me as an adult now, you might as well be teaching a 5-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I think it was putting away the dishes, but I don't know how that worked because I wasn't that tall when I was younger. And the other one was, putting the dishes on the table. That was, I think, my first real responsibility aside from everyone's, which is cleaning up their room and stuff. And then it kind of just added on. Then it was you gotta vacuum now, and now you gotta clean the toilets, which was the worst.
That's something I've never done before. I've never had to clean bathrooms, and again, you might as well teach a 5-year-old because that's how good it'll... I mean, I'll probably get the idea. I imagine
it's very simple.
I imagine it to not be very different from just a deep cleaning from the house, I guess.
It just don't go too hard, otherwise you're gonna have the splash zone come out. You don't want to get toilet water on you, so
I wouldn't know that.
It's just technique, that's it. It doesn't take too long to learn. Yeah. Simple.
But obviously, that's being a kid, and I wasn't really forced to do much else. I mean, aside from learning guitar, which, again, that's kind of the opposite of the same thing. Dishes was neither good nor bad. Guitar was good and bad, both. Ah. Yeah, because
chaotic.
Just chaotic. Yeah. Chaotic, neutral, and then just
neutral, I guess.
Awful neutral.
Yeah,
yeah, because I liked playing guitar, but I was also forced to practice it so much. I mean, it turned out good, which it's something that we're gonna lean on this episode is how things ultimately. Most responsibilities will ultimately end up being some sort of benefit. But it was both good and bad, and I had fun sometimes. But then as you go on, in your youth and you grow up, things just kind of add on, whether it's from school or from home or both. And at least for me, when I was growing up, I always felt like I was getting a little bit closer to this adulthood that didn't seem fun, and I knew I wanted to take care of it the best way that I can so that it can be fun.
I know for me, I guess if we're talking about school and stuff, in middle school I was very irresponsible. I was a completely different person, I'd like to think, I'd hope, because I was an idiot in middle school. I mean, 7th, 8th grade, fun years in school, but man, was I stupid. In 8th grade, I remember me and my friend, we were getting into just a lot of trouble over, personally, I think they were pretty ridiculous reasons. Like, they were annoying, but they weren't enough to get in-school suspension, which is exactly what I got. The final straw for my teacher was that I put a bottle cap on my friend's head, and we were laughing. I don't remember what the joke was, but I thought that was just so stupid. But anyways, we got in-school suspension, and the problem with that was that so many people were relying on me and my friend in the drama club, and you can't attend any of the drama club's meetings or shows if you're in school suspension. That's the rules.
Yeah, the rules that they made up.
Yeah, it's the rules that they made up, and that's totally fair. So. We were the disappointment of the year, I guess, for the drama club, and
because of your failure to be responsible in class, results in you failing in your responsibility at drama.
Right, and the whole team was relying on us, and it just so happened to be that the day that we had in-school suspension was the day of one of our shows. We had like 2 different show dates, and it landed on that day, which was terrible. I felt really bad afterwards. Wasn't worth it. Hilarious looking back, but not worth it for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I know at school, like for me, I guess the equivalent would be like band. I went to a like art school, and it's a middle school and a high school, so we did, I did band, and I was just having a hard time manage like all the things that you need to take care of, like the instrument case, the locker, the books, the certain teachers, if you need the teachers. I tried to dodge that as much as possible. And everything kind of comes with a payment, everything comes with like a due date, a deadline. Your lease is up at the end of the school year or something like that. And just taking care of all of these things, I was encouraged pretty early on. I would say like 11 was the first time that I was kind of encouraged, semi-forced to just take care of it yourself. Like, just don't come to others to back you up, essentially. And I think it helped me a lot. But I think because I was young, it was easy for me to take it too far. And it kind of made me the person that I am now, which is I don't ask people for favors much at all. And when I do, I try to, I don't know, I just feel bad about it. I just don't like it. It's just not a thing I like doing, which I know I probably shouldn't feel like that. But it's just, I guess it's just a balancing act that I'm not very good at so far. It's just, try to do things yourself as much as you can and try to get help when you need it. That balancing act I'm just not too great at. I tend to lean on just literally do it myself. And it could hurt, but with time and application, I'll try to get better. Yeah. But aside from that, things really didn't really change for me until mid-high school when I switched high schools, and then all of a sudden it was like I'm kind of just taking care of everything that I need to take care of school-wise myself, even if like parents like needed to be involved, like like a parent signature or stuff like that. I kind of just took care of it myself. It doesn't matter now because it's whatever. It doesn't matter. But regardless, it was just it was still easy though, because it was just mainly school. I didn't necessarily need to do much at home, aside from like taking care of my pets, and doing that, it's something that I enjoyed doing. Sometimes it'd be a hassle. I'm pretty sure any parent probably will never admit, but they for sure have felt like just days where they just do not want to be a parent.
Oh yeah. Well.
So I think the same thing applies for pet owners. It's like, sometimes you probably just don't want to deal with it. But I guess it depends on the load that you have. I have 3 dogs, so only like a couple of times has it really felt like, why am I a pet owner? But it's never really gotten that deep. But then once college started and pretty much like the real adulthood started, that's when things kind of just came crashing in on me. And I guess it led to this episode.
I guess my state now, I'm mainly just responsible for same dogs, occasionally cleaning the house and school, getting ready for school really at the moment, and just hope that it goes well. But yeah, getting ready for school and just getting things aligned, just because timing and deadlines,
They suck.
they're not my specialty. So those are the main issues. Oh, and work. I guess that's an obvious one, but it's not one because it's so obvious. I just don't really.
Because it kind of takes care of itself. You just look at the schedule and then you know when do you need to think about it. Yeah.
It's not too bad of a deal.
Did I mention the May show already?
No.
And the May show. But, I don't know if you already mentioned it.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's just a 2-day thing. So,
Yeah,
but 1-day thing really for me.
Right. Yeah, and I think just like that transition from like high school student, technically your parents still kind of, they need to take care of you, but I don't know. I feel like most people that are the same age as me kind of take care of stuff yourself as much as you can. Or I don't know. I guess it depends on the person. It depends on the family. But I know for me, like, there's a big difference between, just high school and college, and just college being like, almost every freshman college class being like, you're an adult now, take care of everything yourself. Even though I would say that I have not had any good experiences with any of them guiding us into this transition of independency. And it can be rough, but as I've said before, I was trained to be independent at a very early age, so I kind of, because I had to deal with certain things younger, kind of made things older easier, and you get the point of that. That kind of works with everything. You struggle now, it'll get better later.
I feel like there's a benefit to the way we were both raised, because I know you've obviously grown up to be more independent. For me, I was definitely more coddled, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a lot more. How do I say this? Because I don't mean to make it sound like a negative.
You were taken care of more.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just leave it at that blanket phrase. Taken care of.
Yeah, and I know that when it comes to that transition of like we're becoming an adult, man, the hardest thing is just like really seeing it for what it is, trying to take it in for what it is, and to not let it get to you. At least for me. I know it's kind of disappointing to see sometimes that like maybe I can't handle something, or sometimes that goes in my head of like maybe I can't handle it. Maybe I do need help. And I hate that feeling. I don't know. Maybe I have to get used to it. But I have higher expectations of myself, and I just don't want it to become... I just don't want to end up failing myself, I guess.
Yeah. So for me, I always feel like I can't handle something, but I feel like I can, because of that, like, I feel like, at least for the, maybe not the bigger deals, but the smaller problems in my life, I will always ask someone for help. Even though I hate asking people for help, but it's just because I fear the outcome of...
You fear that more?
Yeah, I fear the outcome of what if I mess up, even though maybe it seems obvious. Like, maybe it's like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is how you do it, but just in case, I don't want to mess anything up, I'm going to ask someone. And I feel like I bother people so much with that, like at work or my previous job, graphic design. Yeah. Because I can imagine, like, all the times we had to do, or all the times I talked to our art... our art director. Oh my goodness. Just asking for like the most basic things. I know he's told me this before, but I'm just like, no, I still don't remember. I have Dory brain. I have to ask him. Sorry, I'm sidetracking. Go on.
No, it makes sense what you're saying. Like, you're putting your responsibilities on others even though you don't like doing it. Or you like to ask for help, at least.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'm putting the responsibility on others, because I don't think I'd ask if that was the case. It's just asking for help for what I'm, I guess.
Well, you also need to determine what is and what it is. Or what it is and what it isn't. You know, like if you're telling someone, hey, can you take care of this for me? Well, they're taking care of it for you. Yeah.
I don't like that.
Well, help is a blanket statement that you just need to, you need to decide on what really is help and what is just, like, you're not even contributing. Yeah. But, it's a struggle and it's a process that we all have to go through over time. I think right now the main thing that I'm thinking about it is taking all my responsibilities and seeing them as priorities and seeing which priorities matter most versus others and just trying to manage it that way. I feel like that way, at least so far, has been effective. We're 2 weeks in. I'll give you an update at some point. Because, we'll probably revisit episodes, honestly. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's going to be rough. Okay. For me.
I think it'll be fine.
So we self-criticizing, which we don't do in the main show.
We try not to. Maybe. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the same intermission from last episode. Expect it more often. We'll probably have a new one at some point. Hopefully.
Let's not put a date on that.
Well, I said at some point. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm eating. I got really hungry, and apparently we need to record while I'm eating, so...
It's just to make the process smoother for me. Yeah. Anyways, going back to the idea of responsibilities, these are some things that we were talking about that I guess it's just a message for ourselves and hopefully for you guys as well, in case you guys are going through the same thing. So I know, like, for me, it's very easy to see responsibilities as a negative, and it can be a problem, obviously, because then it'll just ruin my mood. It'll ruin me mentally as to, like, thinking, what is, what am I benefiting from it? And then, because I already see it as a negative, my brain will intentionally, like, just not look for good things that will come out of it. It's not a good thing. I think the best way for me is to see responsibilities for what they are, just to literally see it for what it is. For an example, I always associate, the priorities in life or responsibilities as connected to their time. So I'll give the May show as an example. The May show, for us, it takes a few hours, I would say like 2 to 3 hours, I guess, during the recording session. And then, actually, I guess 3 to 4, ultimately. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how fast time goes. I'm not really looking at the clock when it happens. I'll just guess 3 hours for the recording session. And then for the editing session and, publishing and then doing the social media stuff for the May show, that probably takes like half a day. So we're talking about, 12 hours. I don't think I'd ever record and do the editing within the day. We're looking at like 2 days. One day is going to take like an evening. The other day is going to take half of the day. And so because I can look at it as that, it doesn't seem like such a hassle because, well, there's 7 days in a week. I have 5 days to just kind of think about what's going to happen, what are we going to talk about, and not really worry about it too much. At least that's the way that I like to operate things.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt my mic.
Oh.
But yeah, seeing responsibilities is a positive thing. Yeah, because it does make you, it separates you from people who may not have much going on in their life, I guess, to someone who is a stable, functioning human being, you know, who has a purpose in their life. You are responsible for these things. So try to do the best that you can with those things, you know. That's something I know I've thought of before, but I don't always put into practice. Like, I know for work, at least I try to come in with a positive attitude, because I know I've seen how other people behave going into, not saying names, I've seen how other people behave going into work and how much they just appear like they hate it through visual cues or just verbal affirmation. And I don't want to start my day off like that. Sometimes it ends off like that. I can't help but feel like so exhausted some days from work. But I try to stay positive as long as I can.
Try.
Yeah, like usually once I reach my lunch break, which is halfway through, that's when it's like, okay, I've had this time to relax, so now I kind of just want to relax the rest of the time, and that's not going to happen. So that's when I get a little more bummed. I try not to, but...
Yeah, I mean, I think having that positive outlook is good. I mean, for some people, especially me, like sometimes it can just be hard to do that. That's why I kind of just like focus more on just like what it is. I know for work, that's almost impossible, but that's just because it's work. Like, it's just the work that I have. It's a temporary thing. Like, I don't see it as like a long-term thing. I don't see it as like a end-all be-all thing, so that's why I kind of don't care as to how I necessarily see it in the moment. But when it comes to like more, I guess just the more important things that I value, seeing it for what it is it's the most beneficial thing that I could think of. I'll give another example that involves a lot more care. My 3 dogs. There's a lot more care that goes on to that because I love them very much, and you know, I've had them for such a long time now. I mean, they're all old. The oldest one, you know, I'll update you on how he's doing later. But
right now.
but yeah, just taking care of them and having taken care of them for so long, sometimes even when I know what the process is, I can still add on just more stress or more overthinking than I need to, because you know, sometimes it's just a struggle, or sometimes I have other things that I need to prioritize at the moment. And so the way that I see my dogs is that like I gotta, like, they need to be taken care of morning, afternoon, evening. In the morning, I gotta clean up their little house area that I made, or that we made, my family made for them, and yeah, I gotta clean up the house area. I gotta feed them. We bathe them kind of often. I never had a reference as to like how often should you bathe a dog, so we kind of do it often, I guess, compared to other people. But you know, we bathe them often, relatively. But yeah, every morning is just cleaning the house, feeding them, picking up their poop, you know, giving them care, playing around with them, all that, and then, you know, you're done for the morning. Afternoon, feed them, mess around with them if you want. That's it. The nighttime, you know, I put them to bed, and I turn off the light for them. You just put them to bed. I mean, it's probably the easiest thing to do. But I end up spending like half an hour anyways, just because I like to play with them. And, you know, doing all of that, it's a responsibility for sure. But because I love them so much, I don't necessarily see it as a responsibility, and I always enjoy it. But I need to see it for what it is, time-wise. It's 2 hours, I would say, out of the day, just divided by 3, and it's just a daily thing. So it's, I guess, when you accumulate all the hours for the week, I guess it's more than what I do for the May show. But I'm okay with that because of the way that it's divided out. It kind of makes things easier, and it makes it easier for me to not have to think about, you know, how they're doing, you know, at every random moment. So that eases up my time to do other things, to let me prioritize other things.
Thanks. So you treat your dogs with a lot of love. And that's important, and it's still a responsibility of yours to take care of your dogs and to treat them with plenty of care. And just like you treat your dogs with a lot of love, we should treat everyone with a lot of love, right? That's just a rule for humans. So that being said, we can't always control, though, how people treat us. They may not treat us the same way. But we can always control how we treat other people, and that is a responsibility of ours to treat other people with kindness, even if they don't treat us with kindness back. And that's something I know I've struggled with, is treating people with kindness at all times. And I feel like something that happens, I guess it's happened more than once to me, is there's been times where someone I know is treated wrongly by someone else I know. But that someone else still treats me with respect or treats me with likability or whatever. And that always bothers me, that they can go on and treat someone with disrespect and then just moments later talk to me like nothing and be happy, whatever. Because I immediately want to treat them with disrespect because they've disrespected someone I care about a lot. But I know that that's not going to help in any way.
Doesn't make you any better.
Yeah, it doesn't make me any better. It probably just makes me worse. And so it's my responsibility to be the example or just treat them kind.
Or to confront, at least.
Yeah, and to eventually confront them of their situation. Because if they're treating me with that respect, I'd imagine they would care about what I have to say. So yeah, that's something that I need to, I guess, put into action at times.
Well, I guess a little asterisk though is like that you think that they're being treated unfairly, because sometimes people might not respect someone, but for fair reasons.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's.
You should always respect someone, but I guess I get what you mean.
Yeah. Like sometimes it's just more of like a natural thing. Other times it's more of like an unfair thing that
Yeah.
Like you get bothered by the unfairness of it because there's no sense as to why they're doing that.
Yeah. It's like they'll just be mean to be mean, and it's like, that's not nice. I mean, I've had people be mean to me too, but I think that bothers me more when they when they treat someone I care about with disrespect more than if they disrespect me, because I feel like I'll either defend myself or I'll just try to like distance myself from them. I won't stay around with people I don't like.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a responsibility that's easy for people to not necessarily think about. Like, you don't necessarily think about like how you treat others as a responsibility, and it can be easy even as adults to just not think about like, what is my humanly responsibility in my life. And we're all susceptible to it. Obviously, no one's God. But I think striving for being able to just tell, like, these are the important things that I need to take care of. Whether it be like taking care of my home, taking care of school, work, whatever it may be, and then also taking care of how I am as a person to others. That is, I would argue, just as important. Because I feel like one can help fix the other in both situations. So yeah, but I think that really builds when you build that in kids. I know it can be easy to just kind of expect people to know things when they become an adult. The thing is, no one's granted wisdom necessarily. So I think it's important to train kids, if there's any parents watching, of young kids.
My mom will be watching.
Of young kids, I mean. Yeah. But, you just have to hope, or if a child is in your responsibility, to train them to know, like, what the important things are to take care of, and that it's not just all fun and games. You can teach to have the mentality of fun and games, but you can also teach to have, at the exact same time, the mentality of it's still important. You can enjoy the important things.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was a pretty current topic just because of what's been going on for me specifically. But like I said, next episode will be Ruby's idea. Wait to see on what that is. Very exciting. Yeah. And we hope to see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed. Again, it's a process that we're going through.
And tell us, how often do you wash your dog? Is it twice a week, once or twice a week, or is it every other month? I don't know.
Let us know. So I can have some reference to go off of.
Yeah.
Anyways, hopefully we'll see you next time. Goodbye.